I 25 male am part of a large STEM family. My entire family is Ivy League educated, my parents, 5 siblings, etc. They're all doctors, scientists, and mathematicians. I am the only one who isn't. Growing up I was always the black sheep, school just didn't come easy to me. They even had me tested for learning disabilities at one point. I had nothing but I just wasn't good at school. I spent my entire childhood crying over math textbooks wondering why I don't get it. Why it's so easy for them and not for me. Art came easy, literature came easy. But to my family that was trash and not worth focusing on. It didn't help that they kept sending me to the same academic schools my siblings went to. Those schools were brutal, the competition there was fierce, and kids were literally snorting Adderall to get through exam week. That environment didn't help. Things didn't improve until I moved out at 18, and got a job at a tattoo parlor. I was able to get an art degree, I started writing, going to therapy, and got a boyfriend. My life just got better because, for the first time, I could just be me. My family couldn't accept this, and contact with them became less and less. Every time I meet them they never make an effort to talk to me about the things I like. They just talk among themselves about STEM subjects I don't understand. I try to engage with them but the things they discuss I just don't know. Whenever I ask questions they get annoyed because now they have to dumb things down for the family idiot. The only time they talk to me is to discuss my failure in life. Mostly I just sit there quietly. That's how my whole life has been with them. Recently I got a publishing deal for my fantasy novel. I was super excited to tell my family at their New Year's party. The first thing they did was ask what kind of novel was it. When I said fantasy they awkwardly laughed and changed the topic to my cousin's PhD thesis. This was my biggest achievement and they shat on it. I told them they were being rude, and that they'd treated me like crap my whole life. They snapped back to stop making a scene, that I had been a difficult child and to be understanding. I really lost it then. I screamed that I was never a difficult child, I never drank, sneaked out, stole, did drugs, or got into a fight. I just wasn't into science, which isn't a big deal at all. So what if I wasn't good at school? Any other family would have been glad to have. I left after that. Since then they've been trying to contact me. To be fair they do seem very apologetic but I've been ignoring them. My dad's last text said I'm being childish and I need to talk to them. A part of me feels bad because I ruined New Year's and a lot of my family's colleagues were there too and they witnessed it, which was probably humiliating for them. They work in really prestigious, competitive fields and I humiliated them. Update: firstly, I'd like to thank everyone for the replies. I posted this before going to bed, so I wasn't able to reply. When I woke up this morning after reading through everything, I decided to text my dad and ask him if we could meet. To my surprise, he said yes, that we could meet today even. I was more surprised when I showed up to all 6 of my siblings there. I asked them how they all managed to get time off last minute as they all have busy jobs. My sister said not to worry about it. They shuffled some things around. Everybody looked pretty upset. I hate awkward silence, so I started off. I said sorry for exploding during the party. It wasn't the place or the time to air out dirty laundry. I know I embarrassed everyone and ruined New Year's Eve, but I wasn't sorry about the things I said. Just where and when I said them. My brother asked why I exploded like that and how long I felt that way. I told them I had had enough. I started writing my book at 19, and after years of rejection, I got a publisher. Did he have any idea how big a deal that was? Did he think everybody got published? And they just laughed at me and moved on. Like I was an embarrassment. They said sorry and that they didn't mean it. I didn't know what to say, so there was a more awkward silence after that. I just drank my Coke till Dad spoke. He said that he didn't mean to make me feel bad, just that he didn't read fantasy books. I snapped and said, so what? I don't like string theory, but I still ask him about it. I don't like the Eilenberg-Gania conjecture, but I still listen when he talks about it. I ask questions, and I care. What would it cost him to ask about my novel? I'm so sick and tired of being treated like the village idiot all the time. Mom said they don't treat me like that. I told her they do. They've treated me like the problem child my whole life. She said it wasn't easy raising me. I started yelling at this point. I'm not proud of it, I'm not usually a person who yells, but I just couldn't take it. I asked her what did I do that was so bad. Did I drink? Do drugs? Steal? Cheat? Sneak out? Lie? Fight? Or even fail a test? What did I do that was so bad other than being a below-average student? Everyone got quiet after that. I could see my mom knew she was exposed, that there was nothing she could say to defend herself. Then my sister stepped in. She said it wasn't easy with my mental health issues. She's referring to the fact that I self-harmed pretty regularly from 6th grade to 12th. I told her she had the fucking nerve. Remember how I mentioned kids snorting Adderall during exam week? She was one of them. They're the reason I self-harmed because they made me feel like shit just because I wasn't good at math. Either way, I wasn't a problem child because I self-harmed, I was a child who needed help and love. Neither of which they gave me. And if we wanted to talk about problem kids then we should talk about her drug addiction because I wasn't the kid that had to go to rehab. She started crying and I didn't even care. Dad told me to calm down, but I didn't want to. I told him I was done. From this day onwards they were dead to me and I to them. They said I couldn't do that. That they were family. I said I already had a family, one that loved me for who I am. Dad said that we could try family therapy and that we could work on things. I asked him why. What did I gain from this? He's nothing more than a sperm donor and the reason for my trauma. Even if we go to therapy it won't make what happened to me go away. I already had a loving and caring family. I didn't need them. Dad started crying at this point. I told them all not to contact me anymore. Not for funerals and not for weddings. My eldest brother asked if I might change my mind one day. I told him probably not. I already have a complete life filled with people who love me. With that, I got up. Dad asked for a hug so I gave him one. Then everybody else wanted a hug, too, so I did. And I left. I'm done. I know I should feel bad but I don't. I just don't see anything for me to gain. Every time I'm with them I remember being that kid, looking around the table seeing everybody talking, and feeling like an outsider because I don't know enough to join in. I remember all the nights of them trying to tutor me and ending up screaming at me, "Why don't you get it?" I remember the disappointment of every report card. And then I think about my real family. And the love they give me. I don't need them. I needed them before but not now. Thank you to everyone who wants to read my book. I've thought long and hard, and I've decided not to post my real name here. My books are something I built out of the ashes of my childhood. I don't want it attached to them in any way. I know logically it might not make sense, but it's how I feel. This book is my future and I don't want it attached to my past.